Playoffs are here. First round is over. We went into the night with 4 Etowah County teams. Only one is standing.
And it's not the one Etowah County team that you thought it was going to be either.
No, it was. No, it's
Nor
not.
that I thought it was going to be. Welcome to the Gadsden Times Football Review. I'm Kevin Taylor. This is Steady Couch. We're talking Class 1 or the first round of the playoffs, and it's in the books. Sorry, I'm having a hard time trying to speak because I'm still thawing out from tonight. It was a bit chilly in Collinsville.
Yeah, it was chilly over at Jim Glover Stadium in Attala, where at Center Point and Etowah played. Just an interesting night. A bunch of scores that really kind of shocked me. There were several. I don't know if I can really. Well, I know one that's really going to stick out, but there were just a lot of interesting scores tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll run down the county scores first. Center Point knocks off Etowah 42-13. Clay Central knocks off Sardis 47-14. Northside defeats Hooks Bluff 35-21. And the Westbrook Christian Warriors are moving on to the second round. They upset number 10 Aliceville 25-22 on the road.
So, huge win.
Huge win.
That's a huge win. A big feather in their cap. Having talked to Drew earlier this week, he was very complimentary about Aliceville, about how well that they ran the football. Really good-looking freshman quarterback there at Aliceville. But, the more he talked and then the more I started looking at Aliceville's stats, something in the back of my mind kind of told me that Westbrook may actually have a shot with this. Aliceville really truly only has one running back. They had a quarterback whose favorite target, he targeted him so many times that he caught all but 3 of his 14 touchdowns so far of the season. So am I a bit surprised? Yes. I mean, anytime you go basically clear across the state and win a ball game in these type conditions, hats off to them. Drew said that this is the time of year that they relish. They relish having to play in these elements, and it's something that he hopes that he can continue to have these guys play in. Well, his wish has come true because, next week, they'll be on the road. They go to North Sand Mountain, and it's going to be probably bitterly cold again. So he gets his wish. He's going to get to play again in some cold weather.
That's Westbrook's first playoff victory since 2010. I want to say that snaps a 4-game losing streak in the postseason for Westbrook. Just a huge. The program's just really seems to be improving year in, year out. This is the third consecutive playoff trip for Westbrook. First time they've done that since 01 through 03. So, kind of continue the success Brian Mintz had at Westbrook. Drew Knowles is just, kind of adding to that. So, big one. Daniel says, thank goodness he didn't have to sit out in the cold and watch that awful performance from Etowah. And then he asked why Trent had to sit out in the first half. I'm not sure why Trent had to sit out. Coach John Holliday said after the game that it was for disciplinary reasons. And I'm not saying Etowah wins the game with Trent in the first half, but I feel very comfortable saying that it's not 42-13 final with Trent Davis not playing. I was there for the first half, and then I had to leave. I was taking pictures. But I'm
about to say, how big of a hole did they get into there in the first half?
It was 26-6 at halftime.
Yeah.
Center Point goes down and scores right before the half's over, and that was just really a gut punch because Etowah gets the ball first. If they could have kept it a 2-possession ball game, and they got the ball first in the second half, and they did drive down and score, you're looking at a 1-touchdown game.
Sure.
Etowah had to keep up with Center Point. I don't think Trent would have made enough difference defensively to keep them from scoring, but Etowah's not only scoring 13 points with Trent. Running game wasn't really there for Etowah tonight. Brady was having a little bit of trouble throwing it, and it's super cold. I can imagine it's tough to throw it out there. And if they had Trent out there running it like he's usually capable of, who knows what happens. Like I said, not saying Etowah wins at Center Point is a great football team. Jason Jones, number 4 for Center Point. That dude started out at quarterback, drove Center Point down the field, touchdown. Next possession, he's at receiver, that dude's he's just mossing on people. And then he's a cornerback on defense. He's punting. He's doing kickoffs. He's
Did he drive the
returning
bus?
punts. He's returning kickoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, when I talked to Coach Holiday earlier in the week, I said he does everything but drive the bus, and Coach Holiday said I'm sure he'd do that if they needed him to.
Yeah. There you
And I mean, kid was just a great football player, committed to JSU, and he committed to the Gamecocks over a few SEC schools. But tough night for Etowah. Definitely didn't see the season ended for them like that.
Nope.
And I'm not necessarily shocked that they lost the game, I'm just shocked in the fashion they did lose it. But I just think that goes to show how important Trent Davis is to that offense.
Yeah. And next up for Center Point, they've got Scottsboro in the second round. Then as just outside of our area, Mortimer Jordan knocked off Boaz 42-14. Gunnersville beats Hamilton tonight 32-9. So Gunnersville and Mortimer Jordan will hook up in the second round. And then the winner of that game would play the winner of the Center Point Scottsboro game in the quarterfinals. Also in that same northern bracket in 5A, Alexandria beat Sylacauga 10-7. Madison County beat Corner 21-14. Number one Jasper over Madison Academy 55-14. And then, like Teddy said, Clay Central beat Sardis 47-14. So Clay Central played Jasper. That's a nice matchup right there. Some really nice matchups in 5A North, and really, if you look at it, 2A North.
2A North, yeah.
2A
North is loaded.
Yeah,
there's a lot of
2A
teams
North
in this area too.
Yeah, you've got Westbrook going to North Sand Mountain next week. You've got Collinsville going to Ohatchee. Ohatchee beat Southeastern 55-13. North Sand Mountain beat Addison 20-13. Collinsville beat Colbert County 63-18. Fife did what Fife does, and they fifed. All 48 to nothing of fifing. Ranburne over Cold Springs 44-0. Red Bay over Cedar Bluff 24-7. And Sulligent comes from behind, scores 27 unanswered to beat Cleveland 27-21.
They scored 27 unanswered in the last 9:39 of the game.
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
We got that in. Cleveland sent us in the box, and I looked at the guys, and I was like, "There's no way this is right."
That's true.
27 unanswered in the last 9:30. That is unbelievable.
Yep. Fife will host Ranburne next week, and Red Bay will play Sulligent. Like I said, 2A North. That's some loaded games right there. I'd say it right now. Westbrook's fortunate to be one of them because just the 2A North bracket has got to be one of the toughest brackets in all of the classifications. Yeah. I mean, there's heavyweight after heavyweight. The only other one that I can see that would be somewhat similar is if you look at 1A South. 1A South has just got, heavyweight after heavyweight. Sweetwater, Maplesville, Brantley, Lynette. Those are basically household names when you're talking about Class 1A football in the South. And who out of those will make it to Auburn? I don't know, but really, it could be any one of those four, and they'll probably have a very good shot of winning the state championship.
It seems like 2A North, that Ohatchee and Fife are both on the collision course to face each other. But who knows?
Could be.
Collinsville could have something to say about that.
Exactly.
Westbrook could have something to say about that.
Yeah.
You play these games for a reason.
Yep.
I went 2-2 in the county this week. I thought Etowah would beat Center Point, and I thought Westbrook was going to lose to Aliceville. You played these games for a reason.
Yeah.
Playoffs, some crazy things happen. In 6A.
Yeah. 6A. Yeah, you had the number one team in the state, Saraland. They lose to 3-7 Park Crossing out of Montgomery tonight. And so the number one team in Class 6A is out. They lost 30-27. So that's why they play these games.
Undefeated Saraland.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's just unbelievable.
That's got to be one of the biggest upsets in playoff history in the state of Alabama.
I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre. I don't know. Did we run down area scores? I don't.
I'll throw out a few others. Spring Garden moves on to the second round. They beat Hubbardsville 28-20. Let's see who else.
Let's see. Muscle Shoals defeated Albertville 61-20. Mortimer Jordan defeats Boaz 41-14. Gunnersville beats Hamilton 32-9. Susan Moore beats Colbert Heights 42-7. Piedmont shuts out JB Pennington 35-0. And then we went through the 2A scores. So
yeah,
several teams gone. We still got some remaining.
Another upset, just touching on 3A, BB Comer beat Fultondale. So the entire Piedmont region ended up winning to move on to the second round. Are we shocked? No,
well, that's what makes,
not really.
That's what makes things so tough for that Glencoe team. They're going through rebuilding times, and it's so tough to rebuild or just go through these years like this when you're in a region like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we see this year after year in that 3A Region 6 where you have 1 through 4. Usually it was Weaver. Now you're replacing Weaver with BB Comer this year.
Yeah.
And they're all moving on to the second round.
Mm-hmm. Susan Moore, they move on. They're undefeated still. They beat Colbert Heights tonight 42-7, and they play the number 3 seed out of that Piedmont region, Walter Welborn, who's got an 11-1 record, and they ended up dusting Locust Fork 54-14. That's going to be a whale of a matchup there, and that's going to be at Walter, in the Anniston area there at Walter Welborn.
I'm not saying Susan Moore isn't for real, but we're going to find out.
Oh, yes, we will.
We're going to find out which one
quickly
is legit, and we know Welborn is because they knocked off Piedmont a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So that is a huge matchup for Susan Moore. Gonna be really interesting to see how that one turns out. Should be a decent ball game.
Yeah. Quickly, let me run through some of the scores just out of the North region. In Class 1A, Spring Garden over Hubbardsville. Hackleburg beat Valley Head 34-19. Pickens County beat Victory Christian 31-14. Falkville over Waterloo 47-19. Mars Hill Bible remains undefeated. They're number 1. They beat Woodville 63-7. South Lamar beat Appalachian 45-6. Decatur Heritage remains undefeated. They win 47-8 over Vina, and Donahoe beats Berry 34-6. Class 2A we've already touched on. 3A, BB Comer beat Fultondale 28-19. Geraldine beat Clemens 49-16. Piedmont beat JB Pennington 35-0, and probably could have been worse than that. Lauderdale County beat Sylvania 46-20. Westminster Christian over Pisgah 47-28. Randolph County over Midfield 44-8. Susan Moore over Colbert Heights 42-7, and then, like I said, Walter Welborn over Locust Fork 54-14. Class 4A, Northside beat Hoax Bluff. Priceville beat Rogers 44-23. I want to say this is Priceville's first playoff win ever in their school's history, but I may be wrong about that, but I think that's what I heard tonight. Jacksonville beat Cordova 55-26. St. John Paul II beat Brooks 56-42. Whoa, what a shootout. Deschler over Danville 44-6. Aniana over Good Hope 37-29. Fairview over Central Florence 46-20. And Anniston over Fayette County 19-6.
Interesting score. Daniel asked, with only one county team left, will we have a live show next Friday? Especially with them being on the road at North Sand Mountain. That's a nice little drive.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
I'm not sure if we will next week or not. Might have to just get back, and we'll probably post it on Facebook or something, but it might be tough to do next week.
That may be a toughie, and then I have a feeling I may be going to Ohatchee or somewhere like that. So a number of our games are pretty much on the road. Susan Moore, which is just outside of our coverage, or just on the edge outside of our coverage area. They're going to Anniston. The only one really I think that's playing at home next week around the area is Fife.
Yeah, and Piedmont's at home against Lauderdale County. So
yeah,
I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. We'll probably post that on Facebook or something next week. We'll put it on social media whether
Yeah.
we will or not. But if I had to just take a guess right now, I'd probably say it might not be likely.
Yeah. Class 6A in the North region, Clay Chalkville shut out Helena 17 to nothing. Athens over Buckhorn 62 to 14. Oxford over Chelsea 55 to 14. Coleman shuts out Mae Jemison 20 to nothing. Fort Payne holds off Hartselle 24 to 17. Pinson Valley over Homewood 42 to 7. Muscle Shoals knocked out Albertville 61 to 20, and Gardendale beat Minor 17 to 11. In Class 7A, I'm going to run through them all. Central Phoenix City beat Fairhope 45 to 7. Prattville beat Theodore 24 to 17. McGill Tulane beat Enterprise 35 to 10. Auburn beat Murphy 33 to nothing. James Clemens beat Vestavia Hills 21 to 20. Hoover ended up holding off Sparkman 21 to 3. Thompson beat Austin 54 to 20, and Florence knocked out Mountain Brook 24-21. There were a few little upsets there in 7A. I think the Florence win over Mountain Brook, that was kind of surprising, and I believe, even though James Clemens won that region, that Hoover region is really pretty strong, or typically is pretty strong. So for two of those to get knocked out, that's kind of surprising, with James Clemens holding on for a 1-point win. Like I said, next week we got a number of teams moving on to the next round. Like I said, Westbrook is going to be on the road to North Sand Mountain. Ohatchee will host Collinsville, and Fife will host Ranburne. I'm not exactly sure where the Red Bay Sulligent game will be just yet. I'll have to just wait and see on that one.
Well, tonight came the end of, obviously, several kids, football careers, but one I definitely want to take note of, Darian Meads from Hoax Bluff. What a special talent he's been.
Yeah.
One of the best in this county for sure. Just the numbers he's been able to put up, and he ended up rushing for 1,540 yards, 6.6 yards a carry, 17 touchdowns, and that's he's been injured all season long.
Yeah.
What a heck of a running back he's been for Hoax Bluff. It's not been a coincidence that Hoax Bluff made 4 straight playoff runs after missing out. When they had Meads back there. Obviously, it's been so many other kids that's contributed, but Meads has been a large part of it.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Just hats off to the Hoax Bluff Eagles with his turnaround the last 4 years. This senior class was a big part of it, as has past ones. Ashton Gullidge, he's been, I know he's been huge to that football team, but Meads has been our player of the year for the past 3 years now. So he's been a big deal, a special player. I hope a lot of people had a chance to go out to see him play, because he's one of those. Hoax Bluff wise, I know Hoax Bluff folks will tell you he's one.
And I really hope we get to see him play on Saturdays.
I do too. Maybe he'll end up getting 2 right down the road. Who knows?
Yeah, because this kid's he's a special talent. Hard-nosed player. Some would say he may even be a better linebacker than he is a running back.
I'm not saying something.
Either way, I mean, this kid does not shy away from contact at all. And in terms of being a football coach, that's the kind of kid I want to coach. I want a kid who's not afraid to get dirty, and he is not afraid to get dirty.
Right. His 1,540 yards is the lowest he's ran for in the season. Yeah. That says it all right there. Yeah. But I definitely wanted to give the Hoax Bluff Eagles a shot for their run they've made the past 4 years, and Darian Meads for sure. He's been a special football player, not just for Hoax Bluff, but to me in the history of Etowah County football.
Yeah, and he's been a joy to cover. He really has.
Yeah. All those kids have been. But I just, tough loss for Hoax Bluff, 35-21 on the road at Northside. That is Northside's first ever playoff victory. And it seemed like the stars were kind of aligned for Hoax Bluff to make one of those playoff runs they make. Yeah. Like we've been talking about the last few weeks, Hoax Bluff makes those runs when they start out on the road.
On the road.
3 years ago, Meads' freshman year, they were the 4th seed, made a run to the semis in 01, state championship year. 3rd seed, started out on the road, win a state championship.
Yep.
This year they're playing a team that has never, I think they were 0-12 for sure, never won a playoff game.
Yeah.
But, there's Hoax Bluff is just hampered with injuries all year long.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen, I know Will Clemens was out for a little bit, but I think he's back tonight. Meads has been just had several injuries he's been
Mhm.
dealing with throughout the year. So tough year for them. It's been a tough year for a lot of football teams in the area.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But here we are. Westbrook Christian's the last team standing in the
Wow.
county.
Yeah. And to be
I wouldn't
quite
have guessed
honest,
that one.
I would never have guessed that. I'm sorry. I know Aliceville has always had a strong playoff tradition and
Was it
history.
24 consecutive seasons
24 consecutive
in the
seasons of making the
postseason?
playoffs. That's strong.
And you
I
go
don't
to
care
their
who you are.
place and win the game.
Yeah, yeah. You go to their house and you win at their house.
And you look at the stats too. And I went to Aliceville's digital scout and found the box score, so I'm not sure how exactly how accurate it is. But according to that, Aliceville outgained Westbrook by 131 yards. If you look at the stat sheet, you'd think there's no way Westbrook wins the game.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Will Knowles was like the leading rusher with like 60 something yards, I think.
Wow.
Only 4 yards passing because I went through it like 4 times. But then you look at that turnover column, and Aliceville totaled 4.
Ah, yeah. That's tough to win.
Tough to
When
win.
you have that many turnovers is next to impossible to win.
And Westbrook did not turn the ball over, and that will win you a football
Mm-hmm.
game 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
So, Westbrook's still alive. Might not got the yardage they wanted, but it doesn't matter because they won the game and they're still alive and playing next week.
Absolutely. And they will go on the road to North Sand Mountain. They will end up facing a team that likes to put the ball in the air a lot. And North Sand Mountain has an electric quarterback. This kid, Ernie Willingham from Collinsville, told me that he is the modern day Johnny Manziel of Alabama high school football. This kid, there was when they played at Collinsville, I was at that game, and he looked like Collinsville had him dead to rights. This kid spins out of that mess or whatever it was because I thought he was going to get dropped for a loss. He spins out of it and throws a dime for a touchdown. And I'm like, oh, well, I mean, actually, what do you say to that? I mean, you really can't say much. I mean, this kid is ultra talented. So Westbrook's secondary is going to certainly be tested next Friday.
You're going to have two contrasting styles of offense going at each other,
Yes.
that's for sure.
Yes.
So,
yep. And believe me, North Sand Mountain has seen that type of offense because they're in the same region with Collinsville and they're also in the same region with Fife. So it's not like they haven't seen that just grind them out type of offense.
and how many people run the ball better than Fife, that's for sure.
No, not at all.
So, just in case you missed it, we're down the county scores before we wrap this up tonight. Center Point defeats Etowah 42-13. Clay Central defeats Sardis 47-14. Northside eliminates Hoax Bluff 35-21. As we just mentioned, Westbrook Christian, the lone Etowah County team still in the playoffs. They defeat number 10 Aliceville 25-22.
Congratulations to all the teams that have advanced to the second round. For those who have been knocked out, hey, at least you can say that you earned a playoff berth. So there's nothing really to hang your heads about in terms of that. So, as obviously as Park Crossing has shown, you can be 3-7 coming in and still have a shot when you're in the playoffs.
Yep, and it's basketball season for most people. I guess
Yeah.
we'll wrap it up on this. Daniel, with the question, kind of jumping to basketball, who should be the best team in the county? All right, girls-wise, Glencoe.
Mm-hmm.
Boys-wise, I'd say probably Etowah and not Hoax Bluff, Etowah and Westbrook Christian.
Yeah.
Westbrook Christian just went through a coaching change.
I agree.
Matt Cody is now the coach at Westbrook. Matt Dickey's no longer the coach over there. Etowah, I'm hearing they're going to be pretty good. They lost a lot of guys, but they also did football. They still had a successful season.
Yeah.
And the Glencoe girls should be really good. Jamie Barkley is now the coach for the Glencoe girls basketball team. despite the coaching change, I mean, Jamie's been there. She knows those girls, and she's had success as a head coach before. I mean, if they're not in Jacksonville, I would be shocked.
Yeah.
Although their area is super tough, they can't overlook
Mm-hmm.
their area. But Glencoe girls have a chance to make a deep run, and I would say they're probably the best team in the county, regardless of boys or girls teams. Can't overlook Southside.
Nope. You can't
The
overlook
girls
Southside
and the
girls.
boys could be pretty solid too.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see. That's the team that probably intrigues me the most in terms of curiosity, seeing how Southside boys are. So, I mean, you got the West End boys now with Richard Hollingsworth as a coach.
Yeah.
Fantastic coach. Curious to see what he does
Great
with them.
Coach.
But
Another team to look out for, and I'm going to interrupt you, Coosa Christian girls.
Mm-hmm.
They've got with India Brown there in the middle on the post. She's going to create a lot of mismatch problems. She's a dominant rebounder. So, and in Class 1A, if you've got a kid like her, you can win a bunch of ball games.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she's got a good little bit of support system there behind her, at the guard play. So, I'll be interested. We've got some teams, from afar you look at them and you're like, I don't know whether they're going to be that good, but the potential is there.
For
I
sure.
mean, potentially we could see maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 teams make it to Jacksonville.
That'd be an improvement from the 3 we had last year. You
Yeah.
know, we only had 3 make it last year. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Here we are talking basketball and the football review. That means football is certainly winding down for us.
Indeed. Majority of our teams actually start the season next week. So just be on the lookout. We'll post, try to be as frequent as we can online to post some of the games coming up next week. I know Gadsden opened up the season Thursday. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say that Coosa Christian opens up the season tomorrow. I believe.
The girls do.
The girls do, yeah, against Plainview. So, it's hoop season. But then too, we're deep in the playoffs, and there are a number of teams wanting to go 5-0. A good number right now. They're 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook is one of them. You got 4 more to go.
Yep, can't count them out. You're still alive, and that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. Folks, our time is up. Be sure to go to thegadsdentimes.com. You check out our game stories, our photo galleries, videos, and just stay tuned because we'll have schedules for basketball, the schedules for the second round of the playoffs, a complete score list will be there as well from tonight's games. So just go to thegadsdentimes.com. We got you covered. Our time is up. We thank you for yours. Have a good one.